Sparking Change with Gigi, a show that aims to make the world a better place by bringing together authentic minds. This show encourages each of us to be the change we wish to see in the world. Get ready to be inspired and join us on this journey to create a brighter future for all.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sparking Change with Gigi. And today's show is going to be about connections and how we support each other. This month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So I've devoted myself and the guest on my show this month to really bring out the people who are making a difference supporting this cause. Because from my own experience, and we can only speak from the heart when we've been through it, and around people who have been touched by cancer, to know that we're not alone. There's plenty of support out there, but we feel we're alone because we're living in the dark when we get diagnosed with such an illness. And when I was diagnosed, I didn't know this organization even existed until someone told me about it. And it's Support Connections. And I will tell you that I've been to many functions that is funded, that is created by Support Connection to really help those who've been touched by cancer to just know that there are support system and people here that pave the path to the light, because we do live in the dark once we get diagnosed. But I know from my heart, I can only say that you can make it with the people and surround yourself with the people that love you. And today I'm going to bring to you two special people, Catherine Quinn and Nancy Stigone, who are doing exactly that. They're volunteering their time to put together and organize events so that we get supported in what we need to really know that we can fight and win and defeat this adversity in our life. So welcome, Catherine, and welcome, Nancy.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, I'm so happy that you are here with us. Really, I want to just go into, Catherine, you've done so much. For almost 30 years, you have been very supportive to our community. And, my heart goes out to you. So I really want you to, know how special you are to me and probably millions of women who have come across your path, who've had the honor to cross your path for all the work that you do in your organization. So can you tell us a little bit, like, how did you get started and some of the work that you do? And we're just going to have we're just going to tell people, like, you're here to support us so that to support those who are going through this journey.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me on today. It's an honor. Support Connection is really kind of about a dream that became a reality. And some people might think the dream began actually as a nightmare in some people's lives. And what I mean by that is, cancer entered into people's lives and did not, no one expected this to happen. And, years ago, I met two people, Nancy Heller and Richard Damsky, and I met them at a walk that was held in FDR Park in Yorktown Heights, New York. And Richard had lost his wife, Myra, to cancer, to breast cancer, after dealing with it for over a decade. And Nancy had been diagnosed with breast cancer when she was 44 years old and had recently moved into the area, had a young child, and didn't have anyone to turn to who could actually feel what she had been through, because they too had been through it. And I, at the time, had been a very dear friend of mine, Isabel, was diagnosed with breast cancer at a very young age. And she too had great medical treatment, but only wanted to speak to a person who had been through what she had been dealing with. She just wanted to meet someone who would, be able to relate to her. So with all this said, we were at a walk, and Nancy Heller expected 250 people to come. There's a walk to bring awareness about breast cancer, ovarian cancer, because that was not as well known, but really impacted people's lives too. And again, when people are thrown into this world and hear the words "you have cancer," it could be terrifying. So now, what do you do with it?
Yep.
So, as it turned out, they expected about 250 people to come to the walk, and there were over 800 people. So then it was decided, you know what, we need to do this again. And Nancy made a plea for volunteers to come and to work on another walk. So, along with about 20 other people, I came to a meeting that was held, and we decided quickly we really needed more than a walk. We really needed to have an organization that people could turn to. That was the beginning. And as it turned out, I had the background to help set up the organization. So before we knew it, September 10th of 1996, we, through the kindness of a woman, Grace Romer, we opened up a one-room office in Yorktown Heights, and Support Connection became a reality. Initially, we thought we'd start with a support group, and all of our facilitators were trained by an organization called SHARE, all had cancer, and that was making us a difference. And today, 27 years later, we still have the same mission to be there for people who are dealing with breast, ovarian, or other gynecological cancers. And what makes us unique is that every one of my counselors have been down the road of having had cancer. So that is how we got started. We were hoping that we would have a few people turn to us. Before you knew it, the first few months, we had over 100 people utilize our services. I began as a volunteer, but then I was asked to become the executive director of the organization. And I'm still in that capacity today. And it's through the people and that we met along the way that keep us alive and thriving. And Nancy is one of the people that has been key to us for all the years.
Well, Nancy, I know we spoke a little bit earlier. Please tell us, about your story. And, I have to say that sometimes, even though if we didn't have cancer, but we have someone close to us who has cancer, the emotions and the feelings, like we can feel what they're going through. And this is kind of like what your story is all about, Nancy. Can you share with us?
Yes, Giovanna, thank you for having me today. So, yes, well, I started with Support Connection going back to 1996 with Kathy. And we met through the school system. Her kids were in the school system, and I was working for the schools, and we met. And I've been on that journey with Support Connection since then. I have worked for our local Yorktown Chamber of Commerce as the executive director, and we've connected through that, and we've done a lot of events, and it's all about giving back to your community. And I volunteered, and I'm happy to say now I'm on Support Connections board, and it's a wonderful feeling when you know that you are giving back and supporting these women and men and their families in what they're going through. I know personally my sister she passed away from ovarian cancer 8 years ago. And during that time, just the support I tried to give her, she had young kids, supporting her, whether it was bringing her to the doctors. And she was a nurse and she was very strong, but still it really takes you down.
Of course.
And it's, you need that support to have somebody listen to you and to let you know, we're here for you. I'm here for you. Don't worry about your kids. we'll take care of them. What do you need? Let's focus on your health. Let's focus on your mindset and to keep you going. And that's a very, very hard, long journey. And through Support Connection, and I've had friends and coworkers that I've worked with who have passed from cancer, but while they were able to turn and get their support from Support Connection, I worked with a woman who had cancer. She reached out to Support Connection and started a knitting group. And and just different groups like that, or the yoga support, and just really helping you get through this journey. So, as you were saying, Giovanna, this organization lets them know they are not alone. And the peer counselors and the counselors on Support Connection are amazing. They just sit there and they listen.
Absolutely. And I think that is one of the biggest things that I remember when I was in that role, that's what we needed, someone to listen to what we were feeling, right? But being part of the few times that I volunteered my time in the groups, we were looking for reassurance that everything was going to be okay. We were looking because we didn't want to listen to ourselves, right? Because within ourselves, we felt hurt. We felt like life was taken from us, stolen from us, right? When we hear these voices, you got cancer, you go into a world that's unknown, unfamiliar. And the ones that do know are the ones who went down this path and they made it. So it's helping those who get the diagnosis really understand, here are people that have made it. They're here to support you. They did it, you can do it too. So that's why I feel like what Support Connection does is really hold their hands to really see that side of life, right? Because once you get that phone call, you don't see life anymore. You see everything that could go wrong versus things that can go right. So that mindset piece comes from surrounding ourselves with people who know, who experienced it, who can be the evidence for them, that they can change the thinking a little bit around really what cancer is going to do. Because at the end of the day, I really feel that when we get that call, we're living in fear until it's over and we see that we're still alive. Because everything has to kind of like give you messages. Every experience is giving you some type of message to take away from that. So, Catherine, can you speak to us about some of the programs? I mean, I know you just had a big event, right? Would you like to talk about that a little bit right now?
Well, yes, we had the annual supporter walk, and there were 2,000 people there. And what's amazing about that walk is to see what happens when people come together. And when I tell you to see the young, the old, people who are doing well, people who are going through cancer right now, but there's one common word. It's all about unity, that we're all together. And there is so much today with all the technology and everyone on a device every day. What makes a difference for people, and I see that walking space is the hugs. Now that people are hugging again, and the camaraderie. And you know what you see, even for people who walk in memory of their loved ones, you see the joy they have to celebrate the life of that person, and to know, and then to see the people who are dealing with the cancer getting out there and knowing they are not alone. They are not alone. There are people that care for them. And one of the things, I mean, a lot of it's the walk is a labor of love. It takes a lot to get it together. I had two wonderful people, Ariana Goggin and Amanda Margiata, who put this together, and then volunteers and everybody turning out. But what we recognize is everyone is an individual and everyone needs different things. So while we began with two support groups, one for breast and one for ovarian cancer, we've now expanded our programs to offer so much. We have 12 support groups. We have the individual one-on-one peer counseling. Everything is free, by the way, and unlimited in the amount of time. Nobody's putting you on a clock. So if you need, an hour, you need a day, you need a year, you need multiple years, we're going to be there for you. We have educational programs because there's so much information coming out at people. And now, people wonder, what I'm reading, is it real? Is it, accurate? So when people might call with questions, we can direct them to, viable resources that they could trust. We have social activities. Now, much of the research is showing how modalities such as yoga, meditation, art therapy, music therapy all help people in the healing process or coping,
Yes, of
coping with
course.
dealing with. So we have, if you go to our website, supportconnection.org, you will see all the amount of programs that we have. And what I love about it is it really is helping meet people where they are, what they have to, what they need for them. And the other wonderful thing is you could take advantage of one program or you could take advantage of every single one. And then,
Yes.
of course, and Giovanna, from being there many times, one of our favorite days of the year is Celebrate Life Day.
Oh, I would love to just definitely, share my experience with that, because when we come together in this event to hear and just to go, my favorite part is how many of you here are survivors of 5 years, and you have people standing up, survivor of 10 years and people stand up, 20 and 30. So that to me just shows the support system that's here, that people can absolutely take advantage of, because cancer is a diagnosis. It's not who you are. You're not a cancer person. It's just a diagnosis that with the right resources, the right information, the right level of awareness, you can beat it. You can beat it. And the support groups that is here, the level, like you said, there's so many different ways of getting your mind and body in alignment to feeling that you can, to feel that you can be strong enough, that you can surpass this part of your life, if I say, because I do know that people who don't have these support, they're very fear of what's going to happen. They're living in fear every day without having a support system. And that's why, connecting and supporting each other, no matter what you're going through, there's someone who will understand and give you that hand, that support that you need. So this group, just watching people smile and be happy and celebrate life. I will say that life, when you are diagnosed with something like this, your life just does change forever. Forever. You're not the same person anymore. Even after you beat it, and I'm speaking for myself here, that I've dedicated a part of my life to support women who are going through this journey, because it does change your life and you do see life a little bit differently, for sure.
Also, you don't always have, sometimes, people's situation is not going to be resolved in a positive way, the way we would want everything to be. But even in those times, we're there for people because people
But
need to be able to kind of, have someone go on that journey, help out the family members. Um, and all of my counselors have really experienced so much, like, the number of years. Like, one of my counselors has been with me 17 years, another one 11 years. Um, we have just brought on a new counselor who's dealt with this for 8 years, and has helped people with other difficult times in their lives through other work she's done. So it's so important. Something you brought out, Giovanna, a person once said to me when I was dealing with some serious health issues in my own family, find the joy even in the most difficult times of your life. And one of my counselors always signs off her emails with wishing you much joy. And that might sound like, what, is this person saying? As you said, when you get the diagnosis and now life has changed. But what we try to help people to say, yeah, cancer is something you have to deal with. It's not what you want, but you are you. And you mentioned it before. It's a part of your life, but you don't have to let that define you. Um, and I think, and again, that's not minimizing anything that anyone's
no,
going
no,
through. It's not making it, a crusade, but it's about helping people to get those moments of peace, to help them understand, like, get the right medical team that works for them, um, give them a little escapes. And one of the things, and if you don't mind, Nancy, I'd love for you to touch on. Nancy actually is the person who is in charge of a wonderful program we have. It's called Baskets of Joy, and it's in loving memory and honor to one of our counselors, Andrea, and who was the person who always signed her letters, much joy. May you find joy in some part of the day. And Nancy, if you could just share a little bit about some of the baskets you create for people.
So, first, I would like to say, Giovanna, I truly believe with all of these programs and this support, it helps people to switch their mindset, redirect them to finding some peace, some calm,
yes,
some joy. And I believe that this does prolong, whatever is going to happen. It helps them switch. I know with my sister, she knew her days where she would be sick, but she made a plan on what she was going to do to find that joy, whether it was, she would go to a yoga class, or she would love to go out to eat. So she would
right,
bring the whole family out to eat and things like that. So I truly believe in these programs for distractions and to find that calm, and because
right. But I think she made the decision. She made a decision. I am
yes,
going to go to this program. I'm going to do Reiki. I'm going to,
yes,
right? So nothing will happen. No change will take place in someone's mind, heart, unless
hmm,
they make a decision, right? And that is so
right,
important to say,
right,
okay, I have this diagnosis, but now
hmm,
that doesn't mean I stop living,
right,
which I will
right,
tell
and
you,
that's
I've seen people do that. It's like they've claimed their self, not able to do anything anymore because they had the diagnosis where, like your sister, she still wanted to find joy,
yes,
right? And that is
yes.
so important, of course.
And I always feel that's where support connection comes in. If you could, you get somebody there and they have a different light of what's going on. And I'm very proud to say that I've been working with Support Connection in creating their baskets of joy. And like Kathy said, in loving memory of Andrea, who was one of the Support Connection counselors,
Hmm.
and how that looks. One of the counselors has a client that they're supporting, and they will call me and they will say, Nancy, this is what this person needs at this time in their life. And it's very specific. It could be down to, something that they need. They can't get to the grocery store. So it's not just your gifty items. It's real support focused on what their needs are at the time. And I just love it because when I'm creating these gifts, I'm thinking about how I'm supporting them also through Support Connection. We've had requests for, someone may have a 13-year-old daughter who loves to do crafting. Can you put something in there for her? And it's bringing everybody together in it. And the counselors are so focused on that support. And, this is one of my gifts here. It could be blankets, cozy socks, tea, whatever their needs are at the moment. And I've been so blessed that I've had this opportunity to do that because, again, I feel like I'm giving back to them from the heart.
Yes, no, of course. And I think everything, when you know that you are affecting some other people's lives, the joy will come back to you, right? It's like Christmas time. It's such a pleasure to give somebody a gift and watch them be so happy. Like their joy brings you joy. And I think this is really what Support Connection is all about. It's about putting a smile to their face, right?
And to have one of their clients go to the counselor and said, it was like, and we're talking about a grown woman here. This was like Christmas morning for me. And she was so grateful. So can you imagine just a pair of cozy socks could brighten somebody's day and make them feel that they are truly supported in what they're going through?
Absolutely. Let's take a small commercial break and then we'll come back and talk about some of the other programs that Support Connection does. Here are from our sponsor. Okay. So we're going to go into, I know that there's also a free toll 1-800 number that people can call to get in touch with Support Connection. Catherine, would you like to say that number?
Yeah, it's 1-800-532-4290.
Okay. So, and we'll put that in the description of the show that they can definitely contact the organization. Nancy, can you tell us, I know we mentioned 2 events that you do. What else do you provide to support this cause?
So again, I support them through this program, Baskets of Joy. And then I also volunteer. Again, wherever I'm always open. I've gone in and I've helped them with their raffle gifts for the day of the event. So I'm always open to where you could put me anywhere, Kathy. I'm available. And now I'm really proud to be on the Support Connection board because that gives me an opportunity to support on a different level.
Yeah, Nancy has great expertise, having been the president of the chamber, of the executive director of the Chamber of Commerce, which did an amazing job in Yorktown and in Westchester County to promote local business. One of the things that she is very expert at, and something that we do here, we rely on sponsors. We rely on a lot of the local businesses to support our efforts. But here's the beautiful thing about that is, excuse me, is the fact that by doing it, we're the people who are showing the gratitude. So if you're going to be sponsoring our walk, our programs, everything, we're back in the community to say thank you to you. And it is a wonderful way. And I can't tell you how when people, they want to support us because they believe in what we're doing. But it, as you mentioned before, it comes back to you without even wanting
Always,
to come back.
always.
So I have businesses that tell me stop, sending all the people to me because they when they see I've supported support connection, they're calling me up and I can't keep up with like some people like kidding around that they said we can't keep up with the referrals because people want to give to people that support things they're interested in.
Of
So
course.
Nancy's been really great with, pointing us to some businesses that might need a little bit more attention to what they're doing. And by aligning themselves up with us, it helps get the word out. Because we are very grateful. And I always tell my sponsors, it's, excuse me, it's my job to be grateful for you because people that give to our cause, they're very humble and they don't want to be portrayed that they're giving to us for getting the attention, but we want to give that attention to other people. So Nancy being on our board has really been able to help us, come up with ideas, good ways to get the word out. She's really one of our greatest cheerleaders. So she brings a wealth of information, experience. And I could tell you from firsthand, like the baskets that she creates, I will send them to people for different reasons, going through difficult times, whatever, or just for a happy occasion.
Right.
And
I was going to say they're so beautiful, and it's to bring joy to any occasion. It doesn't have to be just
I'll
for
know
women
it.
who are going through
No,
to their
people want to be
journey.
remembered. Yeah, people love, and today again, what a lot of people you might hear and read about this. And I just heard something on, one of these documentaries about loneliness is a really, really tough thing for people today.
Yes.
And ever since even COVID, people's minds shifted, and a lot of people have had a hard time getting back into things. And
Yes.
I mean, we found at Support Connection dealing and navigating with cancer during that time period was so difficult for people. So our services are needed more than ever. But when you have that person who's going to, and Nancy can tell you better than me because she does it, send you that card, send you, hey, I'm thinking of you. It's your birthday. How are you? All these things. And I know your whole show is based on the fact of people looking to have purpose and connection and help
Yes.
another person. And I know in my own life, I think what brought me to be doing even the work that I'm doing, aside from the fact that I had that personal connection to my dear friend, was I was brought up on that. If God forbid you were having a bad day and looking for pity, my mom would turn to me and say, "Count your blessings and turn around and help somebody else, and that'll make you."
Exactly.
And it is true. It's true. And I think, as I said, what keeps me coming to work every day is knowing that you we all have challenges. We all have difficult things to deal with. But I wish I could find support connection models in other areas of your life because to know a person could come here and it could be like one woman came here. I'll never forget. It was on a Friday at 5:30 with her daughter, and we were about to leave. And she came to and she knocked on the door. And I said, "No, come on in. It's okay." And Andrea, my counselor, was here at the time. And the woman, she said, "No, come and talk." And the woman was absolutely shocked that she would take that time. She just wanted to, her daughter just says, "Just come. I want to show you where the place is if you want to go." Anyway, we left the office that night at 7:30 because Andrea spent the time with this woman and her daughter. And the woman called up on Monday and said, "Thank you. Because of what you did, I was able to sleep at night."
Yeah.
And I often say that's what we help people do. And it's amazing, like this organization, we're very small staff. We have 9 people on our staff, but we have so much to do. But We have these amazing people around us, the volunteers, the people that come and believe so much in what it is to make somebody's life a little bit better.
And
And
you
the
know,
and the reach that Support Connection has beyond our local community.
Yes,
You know,
yeah, well, thank you
that's
for bringing that up. Yeah, we talk.
that's
We actually,
important.
yeah, we thank you, Nancy. We talk to people nationwide between our 800 number. Our A lot of people communicate with us via email. Now our programs are virtual, so we have people coming on from California, Colorado, wherever you are, North Carolina. We have, because we get experts in the field. So, for example, we have doctors that are going to be getting on, and they'll have a webinar on the latest treatments for cancer, hormonal, cancers. There's so many cancer, like even breast cancer. It is very complex. It's not like there's just one type, you know.
right. So there's an educational support system also
Right.
to give people, just to let them become aware of what's out there,
Yes. And also,
because
mhm,
if and as you know, I do life coaching, and the one thing that I see is that when you get diagnosed, there's so much of the unknown that makes them go into fear.
right.
So, but the more you share this information and they get educated, and you have these choices and these options, and we're here to support you, and there's someone who's an expert in that field, just sharing, it's like you are a library
Mhm.
to release the fear,
Yeah. Well, part of
right?
our mission statement is our mission is to change fear to hope. To
That's it. And
like,
then hope goes into faith, because faith is believing, hope is believing,
right.
right? In ourselves, that we have the strength within ourselves to make it. And when you have people like yourself and with the positive attitude, yes, we're going to take you from the dark to the light. Yes, we're going to show you how many people have made it, and you can too. Of course, there's many who could not make it, and our hearts go out to them and their families. But the ones that are making it, there are people that are making it. There is not everybody, um, takes their journey to the other side. There are people that have survived stage 4, stage 3, stage 2. It's happening with new technology, new information that's out there. So I think the biggest part that I've learned is that if you can change that fear to hope, that fear to
kind of
hope.
what your circumstances are, and we're very, very mindful and respectful here that everybody's journey is different and
Of
everyone's
course.
attitude towards it is different. There are,
Yes.
and that's what I love about the beauty of my counselors. They are so perceptive. And I think because of their incredible ability to listen, they could really help meet people where they are and what
Of
their
course.
needs are. And I love that there's a no judgment zone here, you know? And again, life experiences, whether it be cancer or something else that you've dealt
Right.
with in your life, some people will take it and they'll say, okay, I'm going to learn. This is a beautiful thing. Other people can't cope as well. But what I love about when people come in here, whether it be on the phone, in the door, on the internet, they're going to know this is about them. And a lot of people, and we know they come here and they're they're caregivers to either children or parents
Of
or
course.
trying to maintain their job. And you know what? There's very little time about that. And then you're going to the doctor and all the appointments and then you're going and you have X amount of time with the doctor. Then you come out, oh, why didn't I ask that question? Well, they'll come here and we'll help the people to say, here, you know, it's okay to call the doc. Here's some questions you might want to ask if you're concerned about things. Oh, okay, you're taking care of your elderly parents. or did you know there are resources that could give respite care? Because so when you come in here and you're dealing with the cancer and what you need, it's all about you. And right, and I'm, so many few people come in ever thinking of their needs first, but
Of
now,
course,
Yeah, I would also like to say that Support Connection, and you may want to touch on this, Kathy, it's not just about the women with cancer. It's about the men, the husbands, the partners.
Mhm.
And it was so wonderful this weekend to see that at the walk. The husbands volunteering and participating, and they were really, really showing up and just being part of this whole, and they were so supportive.
Of course. Well, it affects the whole family, right? It affects everyone around them, not just themselves, not just the individual person, but, because we're very so connected emotionally to each other, right?
And the dynamics change, and and
Yes.
the fact of the division of labor has to change a lot of times if a person is not. But it's amazing. Like, even we have this group of young men, and we just honored them. They're called the Lake Mohegan Professional Volunteer Firefighters, and they are amazing. They come out every year. They sell T-shirts. They're helping us with whatever we need help with. They are unbelievable because they have moms, they have girlfriends, they have wives, and to see, and as Nancy, to see, this is definitely a family affair, a community affair.
Of course.
So, we really need to be there for one another. And we do. As I said, I've been doing this a long time, and there's not one walk I don't walk away feeling a mixture of euphoria to the kindness and the generosity and the support. And just, I cry because I think this whole thing came out of, I'm going to get emotional. Sorry, but this came out of people's very difficult circumstances. And Nancy, you went through it. And Giovanna, you had this, and thank God you're doing well. But a lot of people would turn their back, but we don't get people to turn their back. We say we got to be stronger, and we got to be there for one another. And that's a beautiful thing.
It is. We're going to take a short break, and we're just going to come back and let people know how they can contact us again. We'll put the 1-800 number, and we'll be right back.
Okay, great.
Now, the vast majority, approximately 95% of the people of all countries, go around and around without aim or purpose. They drift with the circumstances of life, good or bad.
A drifter is one who permits himself to be influenced and controlled by circumstances outside of his own mind.
Whereas the successful individuals create their own circumstances and ride them to victory.
When you're on purpose, you're living on purpose. You will never quit if you have a real purpose.
A burning desire to be and to do is the starting point from which the dreamer must take off. But what I have done has been recorded, it's been tested, it's being taken to a free world, and it's going to benefit millions of people who are not yet born.
And it's going to benefit millions of people who are not yet born. We're some of those people. That we're spreading this to the world. As your awareness grows, the doubt is gone, so that you can manifest whatever it is your heart desires. Isn't that beautiful?
So, part of that commercial just kind of brought a thought to my mind. Catherine, obviously, because what you've done and what you continue to do, supporting this cause, it's actually your purpose. It's that is your mission. That is your purpose, because you're doing it from your heart. You said every day you come to work, you're coming there because you're going to make a difference in this world with what you're doing, and you're having a humongous impact of many, many women, and I would have loved to have all of them here to show their appreciation for what you're doing. But I would love to put the number up here. You mentioned it before, so should anyone would like to?
Yeah, if you could call us from anywhere in the country, the toll-free number is 800 532
532
4290.
290. Okay. And I'm just going to place it up here. Okay. There we go. And let me just also put the website here. Well, we have this website there, so I'll just keep the number there for a little while. And is this also the number where they can call to support the organization, volunteer, or?
Well, that number would be better to call our main number, which is 914.
Okay, hold on. We'll do another one. So, okay.
914 962 6402.
6402?
Yeah, 914 962 6402.
And this is the main number.
Yep.
Also, I wanted to say, okay, I read something on your bio that I would like to share with the audience because it really touched my heart when I read it. But here's the main number to support connection.
Thank you.
So I'm going to assume that this is your quote, and I'm going to share it. It says, "I have been blessed to do the work I love. If I can offer advice to anyone, it is simple. Find something you care about. Get involved with your community. Surround yourself with people who care. 2, work hard. Accept that life has challenges. And keep focused on making a positive difference. Don't forget to keep a sense of humor too. With the right spirit, willpower, and determination, it is amazing what can be accomplished." You know, when I read that, it goes for everyone. Whether you're going through this journey or not, that beautiful message is what keeps us going. No matter what challenges we have that come to our lives, knowing that we can be supporting each other to really help us get through the hard time, the challenges, right? Because we all have challenges, and you know, life is not easy. Life is a lot of experiences. We have the ups and the downs, but knowing that we're here to support each other without judgment, without looking at who's got what, you know, what their title is, because cancer doesn't know about titles. Cancer doesn't know about the cars you own, the status you're at. It's going to touch everyone's life, no matter what level you are and where you are in life. But to know that no matter what level you are, doesn't matter. You know, we're here to support, whether, you know, you are young or old, whether you have money, you don't have money, your support system, support connection is here for everyone and anyone who needs it, right? Family members and all. And you were talking about the men, how they're getting involved and they're becoming part of this because they're being affected, right? It's affecting their lives as well. Can you talk a little bit about that? I know before we We went on commercial.
Yeah, well, we have a couple of groups for men. We
Oh,
have a group, and we've made it more of a social group. We used to call it, when pre-COVID, it was called Wing Night, where men would gather in a restaurant, and we would, again, they have wings, and maybe some food, some beverages, and just get together and talk. And it was facilitated by one of the men that was trained. So for men whose wives or partners or friends, family members are going through cancer, that was a place for them to share their concerns and all their fears as well.
sure.
And then we do have a group for men living with loss. It's called, for men whose wives, are not here now, but that's also very important, so people know that they are being supported. And a lot of these men now have become good friends with one another,
Sure.
help each other out. We say you're in a club that you don't want to be in, but since you're in this particular club, to be offering support and again, in these groups, yeah, there's a lot of serious talk, but then you'll hear laughter, and again, there's something that I've learned a long time ago through my own life experiences, and that keeps me going every day, is also joy and grief and sadness can coexist, and
Of course.
you don't I you don't, as I said, we never minimize what people go through here, but we also encourage them to say, okay, what can we do to help you, have a happy moment in the day, give you a little bit of the tools, like I
Of
call it
course.
taking the tools out of the toolbox, to um, you know, to share something that could help you maintain calm. That's why our classes, we have yoga class, very popular, because it really helps people cope with, whether it be their treatment or their mental state. Um, so really, it's a this whole thing here, support connection. We call it, like one stop shopping. You pick up the phone here and you call, and there's nothing that you could say or anything that you've been through that someone's not going to be here to be the shoulder you might need to lean on, the
Yeah.
ear that you need to listen to. Um, and that's really what we're about. And one other thing I do want to add, what I'm very proud of through the 27 years, we've had probably well over 200 interns, young people, high school students, college students, who come here, and they see what it's like to be a part of an organization that could really make a difference.
Of
And I
course.
love when I'm still hearing from these people years later, who maybe had such a good experience here that they've gone into a field where they're helping other people. Um, as a matter of fact, last week I met the mom of one of my first interns, who is now a psychiatrist and doing very well and helping people with mental health challenges. And
Well,
her mom said she always remembers being here and seeing the difference support made to
of
people.
course. And I
That's
truly,
wonderful.
it is. It's a beautiful story. And I have to say that, you speak about the mental part of this experience. That is huge. That is big, because when we say we're here supporting each other, we're really helping to change the mindset. Like you said, Nancy, it's the mindset of, I'm alone, I'm lonely, I'm all by myself, I don't know how to handle this. But this is what your organization does, is help people to see, nope, you're not alone.
Right.
We're here supporting you all the way through. And that is the
Everybody
beautiful.
else is doing it perfectly. People come and they think, oh, so and so had a neighbor of mine or a cousin. They handled it so beautifully, but not really. A lot of times it's the exterior that we put on. We put on that happy, face. You put that on, but then when you learn, no, you're not alone. You're here, and it's your experience. Don't compare But you never, no matter what you say, no matter what nothing is going to surprise us or judge you. You're here whatever you need. We're here for you.
That's a beautiful message. And just let's final words, Nancy. I mean, I know you're here. You just said we're here for you. Support Connection is here for you. Nancy, you know, with your gifts of joy, you're here for them. I'm here for them. Please reach out and connect with us, because it's this world. We need each other in this world to make a difference in our lives. If we can't be alone, even if should nothing happen in your life, being alone, like you said, Catherine, before, it's a problem, because we need to feel loved, needed, and supported all the time. So I want to thank you for the beautiful work that you do, Catherine. Like I said, this is your mission, and you're touching a lot of lives. And you know, we really wish you the best with the organization. People, please feel free to reach out to them to support, whether it's volunteering your time or supporting them to their fundraisers. We really appreciate you and for all that you do for you and your staff. And with that being said, Nancy, do you want to say a couple of final words?
Well, thank you so much for having me here today. And thank you, Kathy, for the invitation. And basically, my mission here is to share your love, joy, and happiness. And I'm so grateful I'm able to do that through Support Connection. And thank you again for having me.
Of course.
This was truly special.
My pleasure. And Catherine, thank you so much again for all that you do to you and your team. And I'm sure we will speak again. Everyone, thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to you on the next show. Thank you, and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me on Sparking Change with Gigi. I hope that our episode today has ignited a spark within you to create positive change in your own life and in the world around you. To learn more about how you can become a guest or supporter, head over to sparkingchangenow.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing, sharing, and leaving a review. Your feedback is incredibly valuable to me, and it helps me to continue producing content that sparks change in each of us and the world. You can find us on various platforms, including Google Play Store, Apple App Store, YouTube, Facebook, Roku, Android TV, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thank you again for watching, and I look forward to having you join me again next week on Sparking Change with Gigi.